Hello, it's the Friday Q&A. Got quite a few questions, so I'll just get stuck right in. The Rangers Rule 68. Was the Mega Drive the console that made consoles mainstream in the UK and Europe? What qualities made it break through against the Amiga and ST? I don't know if it made gaming mainstream, but it raised the acceptable age for gaming. Before the Mega Drive and the 16-bit era, gaming was considered for kids, and by that I mean like 8 and 10-year-olds, which was kind of awkward for me because I was still gaming and people were saying, why are you doing that, it's a kids thing, and my answer was because I enjoy it. But yes, the Mega Drive raised the age. You know, there were teens playing it now, and I don't know about older teens perhaps. I was in my 20s and I was playing it. What qualities made it break through against the Amiga and ST? Two things, I think: cost and simplicity. It's like the PCs versus consoles now. One, you can just plug it in, turn it on, play the game. That's it. Theoretically, though Gran Turismo has proved that not to be the case with the stupid bastard updates, but you know, getting carried away with that. Yeah, consoles these days are getting nearer and nearer to PCs, but there is theoretically still that simplicity. And that's what made the Mega Drive more accessible back then. It was cheaper, it was easier. Amigas and STs, they were more versatile. You could do more with them, but they cost a lot more. Certainly the Amiga did. And there was that, do you need Workbench to launch the game? You know, do you need to install stuff? So, some games were simply stick the floppy disk in and away you go, and some were not. So that made the Mega Drive easier. And its cost is probably more likely what it came down to, really. And the games, to be honest, the games on the Mega Drive were more polished. They were put together by professional development teams, where a lot of the Amiga stuff was, I'm not going to say homebrew, there was a lot of homebrew, but there was a certain rough around the edges nature to a lot of what was on the Amiga, and I imagine the ST. I didn't have the ST, yeah. Okay, ScribbleSamAnimation. 4 questions. 1. Since you like to play Barbie games, I thought I'd ask you this question. What is your opinion of CareBears? Okay, I don't actually like to play Barbie games. You will never ever catch me playing one for fun. I just like making videos of them because they make good videos. They're easy to rip the piss out of, basically, while playing them, to make an amusing video. I'm not a fan of Barbie games. CareBears, couldn't give a monkeys, in all honesty. I know nothing about, I'm aware of their existence, and that's as far as it goes. I don't give a crap. 2. You don't know how much editing I've done to get to this point. Recently in Australia, a shop over there banned the sale of Grand Theft Auto 5 in response to a feminist campaign. What is your opinion on this? I imagine the store took this campaign as being the opinion of the majority, as opposed to a very vocal opinion, or rather the opinion of a very vocal minority. I don't know what would actually be the majority opinion, but to me it is censorship, and censorship is never good, not ever. It's like the developer said, if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you can buy girly magazines, you know, the soft porn with the women with their clothes off and stuff on the top shelf, if you can still buy them in a place, to ban the sale of a game on the same grounds, no. Not really, it's not smart. But basically, at the end of the day, all they've done is handed a load of trade to their competitors, because there will always be someone who will be happy to sell it. You know, there are lots of dubious things about Grand Theft Auto, which, if taken at face value, could be considered offensive or ill-advised or whatever. But as a gamer, I'm just like, I just don't care about that. It's a game, for goodness sake. Get a grip. Stop. Ooh. The overreacting to aspects of that game ticks me off. And the sensible thing to do is all those people who are jumping up and down and screaming in anger and whatever at the things that are in, it's just like, just shut up. Stop it. Grow up. It's a game. Yeah, not impressed, but not surprised, I suppose. 3. Do you like martial arts films? Do you have any favourite films and stars, like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee? I'm not a fan of martial arts films. Jackie Chan irritates me. Bruce Lee is a legend. I've got his films. I mean, what did he do? Was it 5 of them? I've got them all, anyway. Favourite is Enter the Dragon, and how could it not be? But, no, I'm not. As a genre, they don't interest me. Of that kind of ilk, if you like. I like heroic bloodshed type films. And I mean things, basically anything with Chow Yun-fat in it, and Andy Lau. So things like The Killer, and Hard Boiled, and, well, Saviour of the Soul isn't even heroic bloodshed, but it's kind of one of those legendary Hong Kong Chinese whatever sort of, it's great. I love that. 4. If you had your own video game, Steve Benway the game, what would happen in this game? Which consoles would it be on? It would be on all consoles up to... No, it would be on all consoles, and it would feature me laying in bed snoring, and you've got to waggle the joystick really, really hard until I get out of bed. That just sounds bad, doesn't it? And then when I get out of bed, I go and sit at a chair and play video games in the game. And you maybe play the game for me because I am that lazy or playing that badly, perhaps. And then you guide me around the house and find food and things, and I don't know if you're evading the dogs or throwing balls for the dog. Yeah, a day in the life of Benway. I don't know. Game design is not something I just don't think about it. It could be a day in my life. It would probably be a very, for anyone watching, a very boring game from my perspective. It's just chock full of stuff. It's not a question I can answer. Hugh James Cooksley. Another Gran Turismo related question from me. If you could pick any car to add to a Gran Turismo game, what would it be? I'd pick the old Vauxhall Cavalier because my uncle had one and I've got good memories of it. I would include, and it's actually a variant of it appears in Gran Turismo 2, I would add the Fiat Seicento S, the bottom of the range one, because that's what I drive. In Gran Turismo 2 you've got the Fiat 600, I guess it's the sporting. Yeah, I would like a representation of my car. I would also like a Fiat 127 because that's what my dad drove. It's actually very, very similar to my car. I mean, it's more of a tin box in terms of shape, but in terms of what it's like inside and probably to drive, very, very similar. The size is the same. The power is probably about the same. And here's the fascinating thing, it smells the same. The first time I got inside my car, after I had cleaned it all out and everything, because when it was new it was very tatty and it was a mess. I sorted it out, cleaned it up, ripped the seats out, put new seats in because the ones that were in it were just trashed. So that when it just smelled like a car instead of a filthy mess, it smelled exactly like my dad's car. And I was just like, wow, it's the same size, same smell, same colour, yeah, and his was a 127 and mine's a Seicento. I would like those in Gran Turismo, just so I can, I don't know, poodle around in them. Okay, moving on. Lego races. 3 questions. 1. Are you going to do a Q&A or other form of talkie outside, walking around? No. No, I'm not. Well, I may do a talkie, but I certainly won't do a Q&A because all the questions are on the screen. And, I mean, I suppose I could take my tablet around, but I don't want to walk around outside with the tablet. And I could write it all down, but I don't want to write all that out. And I could print it out, but I haven't got a printer attached to this computer, and I can't be bothered to... No. It's just too much messing around. Outside talkies, yes, sometime I do them when I'm in the mood, when I've got somewhere to go where it's not too, I don't want too many people around, and I've got to have something to talk about. So those videos are few and far between. It's got to be when I feel like it, and most of the time I don't feel like it. 2. Do you think that Grand Prix manager games, Grand Prix in brackets, so maybe other manager games like Football Manager, can still be successful in 20 whatever? No. I've never ever understood the appeal of manager type games, be it Grand Prix or football or whatever. I don't get them at all. I've got a few. I can't even bring myself to load them up. I don't get it. I don't understand. What is fun about juggling statistics and figures and stuff and all of that? No, absolutely not. I don't see any place for them in modern gaming, unless you're it's got to take a really particular kind of person to enjoy that kind of thing. Maybe accountants like that sort of thing. I have no idea. Niche, very niche. There might, I imagine there will be like indie developers perhaps making that kind of thing on some systems, PCs perhaps, maybe tablets. It'd have to be an open system. I can't see a mainstream console having that kind of thing, though who knows. I haven't checked that out. They're successful, maybe by their own standards. In terms of mainstream, no. 3. What was your first reaction when you saw that you can play like animals in GTA 5? I thought, that's cool. And that's all. I can't get excited about it. I like the idea of being able to fly above the city as a bird and look around and stuff. But then you could do that in the helicopter or the plane or whatever anyway. The fact that it is kind of a Easter egg, if you like, hidden thing, and you only get to do it if you take peyote while you're up in the mountains or something, makes it kind of a bit more special, I guess. But I would not go out and buy a PS4 just to be able to do that. I wouldn't. I have Grand Theft Auto 5 already on the PS3, and if I bought a PS4, would I buy the game again just to do that? Probably not. In fact, no. No, I wouldn't. Though I might buy the game again just because it looks that good. But I probably really wouldn't. I'm not into buying games more than once, even if they are graphically improved and stuff. Probably not. There are enough differences that I might think about it, first person view, stuff like that. But it would be pushing it. But just for that feature, you know, it's cool, but I can't get excited about it. Chris James, have you ever done any computer programming, and did you ever want to work in the video game industry? If so, in what capacity? I tried learning BASIC. I first tried BASIC when I was in school, and I never got any further than that. BASIC, you know, in terms of programming languages, I've never looked at C or C++ or any other language. Fourth boggles my brains. But I'm not. My head doesn't work that way. I did a little bit on the Atari 800, I did a little bit on the Acorn Electron, I did a little bit on the Amiga using Blitz Basic. But I was not good at it. It took me a whole day to work out how to open a system window on my Amiga. And, you know, I'm not geared for that kind of thinking. My brain doesn't work that way. I thought it did until I tried it and realised no, it doesn't. It's not my thing. Working in the games industry? No, not really. I mean, I suppose I wouldn't mind being a playtester, but really I wouldn't be a good playtester because I'd be playing badly. I don't actually play badly when I'm playing properly, but no, I don't think I would even be a good playtester, because the thing with that is you've got to play the game whether you like it or not, where my reaction to a game that is crap is I ain't playing that. So no, I wouldn't want to work in the games industry. I think it's largely a thankless task, unless you're at the sharp end, unless you're, say, an indie developer developing your own game and it's a game that you love. I think the gaming industry is a very thankless thing. It's a conveyor belt, and coders and developers, the people doing the coding, get treated very badly. Long hours, pay is meh. Unless you're one of those superstar developers who get to do their own thing, and there aren't many of them. It is mostly just a production line of code. I wouldn't want to be part of that. Okay. Right. What are the 10 best or your favourite video games of all time on any platform, including arcades? I think it'd be good to do a countdown in reverse order from 10 to 1, if you can be bothered to give it that much thought, of course. Yeah, I gave it a bit of thought and wrote it down, and then forgot to write the numbers on them and got all confused, so this is take 2. Right, 10. This, well, is one of 2 games, I guess, for number 10. It is either 3D Monster Maze on the ZX81 or Jetpack on the Spectrum, and I can't decide. It's one or the other. Depends what mood I'm in. And there's a lot of that with this whole list. I mean, there is no way it's definitive. It's all depends what mood I'm in. 9, Arcade Defender. Just because that should always be in any top 10. It's possibly, in terms of old school gaming, cats, the perfect game, or it would be if it weren't for number 8, Arcade Star Wars, by the Atari one, not the later Sega one or any of those ones that came after. Atari Star Wars Arcade. Number 8. Number 7, Jeff Crammond Formula 1 Grand Prix. Love it. I mean, it's on the PC and probably on the ST, but I played it on the Amiga, and on a souped up Amiga, it's fantastic. Use F1 GP Ed to like alter the colours and the driver names and the team names and stuff like that. Brilliant. Number 6, Doom. Don't really care which system it's played on. First time I ever played it was on a 32X, which was by far, it was far from the best version, but it was all I had, and I loved it. And I got further on the 32X version than on any other version. I never completed it, but you know, getting into those later levels where you just got rooms filled with bad guys, whatever. Brilliant and frantic. There are aspects of it that kind of getting lost and stuck and not being able to find wherever it is I'm meant to go. I used to find that a bit frustrating, but it's for the whole getting in a room filled with monsters. Epic. Number 5, Mario Kart. Now, I can't really say which one. I mean, 1 is the purest, without doubt, but I really like Super Circuit and I really like 7. So I'm just going to say Mario Kart 1, Super Circuit 7. Take your pick. 4, Half-Life 2. Love it. On the PC. I mean, I've got it on the PS3, I've got it on the original Xbox, but you need keyboard and mouse really to play that game effectively. On the PS3 it's just a jerk fest. On the Xbox, original Xbox, it doesn't play quite as well with the joypad, and the resolution ain't quite up there on that. So PC, Half-Life 2, back when I played games on the PC, because I did. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 6. I was kind of torn here. Was it 6 or was it San Andreas? And then it occurred to me, well, it's more or less in San Andreas anyway. So, I love San Andreas, and it is sort of different. But, yeah, we'll say 6. 2, Gran Turismo 3 and or 4. I played 3 more, but 4 is bigger. 3 is more accessible, but 4 is bigger. So, yeah. PS2 era Gran Turismo, we'll say that. Number 1, Battlefield 3 and or 4. They're to my mind, they're the same game. They've just got different maps. They could be the same game. They should be like just put together as one game. I love them. I think they're fantastic. I spend more time playing Battlefield. I play Battlefield 4 now, but for like much of the time that I've had a PS3, I was playing Battlefield 3. I've spent more time playing those Battlefield games than any other game on the PS3. They're still my go-to game. BF4 is my go-to game. If I have the time to play a video game and I'm not making a video of it, I just go straight to Battlefield and get my ass kicked, and respawn and get my ass kicked. That's I couldn't even say it's my favourite game. It's just the game I go to. It's a no-brainer for me. There's no trying to remember what happened last time I played. There's no trying to remember what the controls are, because I'm so attuned to it that I don't have to think about it. Yeah, that's my number 1. Okay. AC5015. Who are the top 5 YouTubers you would like to do a collaboration or crossover with? I know you've said it in the past, you don't do well in social situations, but if you could do it without being uncomfortable. That's actually a really, really tricky one. In the same room as... I don't know if I can think of 5. I guess Lawn Boy's post, he's got a similar attitude and a similar outlook and stuff like that, and I think he would be easy to make a video with. I would say Patimus, and it wouldn't even be a gaming video, just because, well, it would be fun to be in the same room as her, because she's fun, and I like her quirky oddness. Is that I don't know, she'd consider herself odd. She's yeah, it'd be fun. Big YouTubers. Well, I kind of think I wouldn't mind making a video with Ashens, but then who wouldn't? But then I think I'd be incredibly intimidated as well. So I like his sense of humour, and either his sense of humour and my sense of humour would work very well together, or we'd just piss each other off. So, And this one, actually, I would love to make a video with Emma Blackery. I kind of have an idea in my head. I can't bloody stand Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, where I think it's her favourite game, and she despises anyone who says anything bad about the Zelda games. So I would like to sit and play a Zelda the Ocarina of Time, and rip it to pieces, and have her sit there and respond to what I'm saying about the game. And that's only 4, but I can't think of any others. Yeah, that would certainly be Emma Blackery. That would be a very entertaining, from my perspective, that would be amusing. She'd just probably beat me over the head with a club or something. Yeah, but I don't really do collaborations, as you're probably aware. I don't know how that would work. Anzac 1869. Hi Steve. Hello. Do you prefer to do your Christmas shopping online or do it the old-fashioned way and go out to the shops? I ask this because I probably do about 80% of my shopping online and I can find a lot of stuff that wouldn't be on the shelves. Yes, there's what I would prefer and there's what I do. I do most of it online, but I prefer... There's the thing, if I know what I want, if I know what I'm getting for a person, I will do it online. I will just go to, usually Amazon. I do most of my online shopping either at Amazon or eBay. Yeah, if I don't know what I want, I will do it in bricks and mortar shops. I drive down to Meadowhall and usually I just walk around the lanes, that bit with all the little independent shops and stalls and kiosks and stuff. Yeah, I go to the lanes in Meadowhall and see what they've got. Because sometimes, you know, if you don't know what you want, browsing online just doesn't do it. And I want to walk around and be inspired. So yeah, I guess 80% online, and then it is that final trip to Meadowhall in a last minute panic, thinking, I don't know what I'm getting for so-and-so, I'll just go there. Yeah, that's what I do. I think the actual experience... What do I prefer? There are rose-tinted spectacles. I think I prefer it in the real world. It feels like I prefer it in the real world. But I'm also aware that there have been a number of times I've left it till like Christmas Eve, late afternoon, early evening. I'm thinking the shops are going to be closing soon and I haven't got... And, you know, I've still got stuff to buy for people and I don't know what to get them. And it's actually really bloody stressful. So, real world, if I have got plenty of time, yeah, is probably more enjoyable. But, you know, there isn't always time for that. Okay. Jerry Joe, if you only had 2 games, a super awesome racing game and a super awesome action-adventure first-person shoot-'em-up, which would you play more? The shoot-'em-up, first-person jobby, yeah, because if I only had 2 games, it would be Gran Turismo and Battlefield 4, and as I kind of covered really, it turns out to be Battlefield 4. Gran Turismo, I find I reach a point on that where I've either finished or I can't progress any further, and once I reach that point, I stop playing. And I've reached that point now. I haven't actually... On my current game save, I'm not very far into it, but that's because my PS3, a PS3 I had, died and I started all over again. But I'm kind of not playing it anymore because I know what happens. I know how far I can get, and I can get up to those fancy Red Bull X Racer things, and then I can't quite finish that. And since I know I can, that's as far as it's gonna go, and I've seen it all, it's like, Battlefield, still playing that. I know all the maps, I know sometimes I do well and sometimes I don't. I haven't got all of the guns, I haven't got all of the ranks, I'm not very far up the ranks. But it's always different, you never know what's gonna happen. So I keep playing that. Yeah, first person shooter. Online. It's got to be online. If it's just a story-based thing, then it would be harder. Demez. When Classic Game Room left YouTube, did you take the effort to go and watch the reviews on ClassicGameRoom.com website? I know I did not, even though I intended to. Good question. I did, and then I didn't. And I think that happened for a lot of people. Classic Game Room is just bloody brilliant. In terms of video game reviews, for me, he's as good as it gets. You know, old games, new games, the way he does it, I trust his opinion, I love his style, he is it. And so when he left YouTube and went over, and just did his thing on his website, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go there because I really want to keep watching. And I did for a bit, but it just got to be a chore. I do YouTube, and I watch lots of people on YouTube, and I think a lot of people have found out if you try and take the action away from YouTube and take it somewhere else, it just does not work. You can have all the goodwill and good intentions in the world, but if you're a YouTuber, you're a YouTuber, and you're going to do your thing on YouTube, whether that's putting your videos on there or watching them. Plenty of people have said to me, I've got this new website, it can be a hub for all the retro gamers to come and watch games together and talk about it together, and it'll be great. It'll be like a little home for the retro gamers. And I've had a lot of people approach me with websites like that and ask me to get involved, and initially I did, and then I stopped and didn't, because we already have a hub where we can already get together and talk about games. And you know what? It's YouTube. Why move? Why try and create something separate when it's already here? People don't want to leave and go somewhere else to do something they're already doing in the place where everyone else already is. All you're doing is fragmenting the audience and reducing the audience. You're always going to get less, and it's always going to die. The only time you can really do something like that is if you've got something very, very different, if it's something very specific that YouTube can't offer. Yeah, and most of the time, most times it just doesn't work. I think maybe you have to have had the other place first and it be a successful going concern, if you like, and then move to YouTube and have some kind of crossover there. But no, it didn't work. It was never going to work. I went along, and in the end, like everyone else, I just couldn't be bothered, and so I stopped watching. And I guess everyone else did, because he came back to YouTube, and good, because I love watching his videos. Okay, Roland in the Caves. Now, there was a classic game, eh? But this is a person. If you could amalgamate and combine two systems released at roughly the same time in the past, which would they be and why? Mega Drive, SNES, Amiga ST, PlayStation 64, etc. Yes, I had a bit of a think about this because it's an interesting and good question. And I would combine the Amiga 1200 with the Atari Falcon. The Amiga's AGA chipset was good. I don't know what the Falcon had in terms of graphics, but from the Falcon I would want the DSP chip, the 030 processor, and the MIDI ports. From the Amiga, the 32-bit bus. Didn't the Falcon still keep a 16-bit bus that just crippled it? So you got an 030 processor. It was it? I can't remember how many megahertz it was, but yeah, you had a decent CPU that was better than the CPU in the Amiga 1200, but then you cobbled it onto a 16-bit data bus, which was just duh. Yeah. So Amiga data bus, Amiga graphics chips, but Falcon CPU, DSP, and MIDI ports. That's what I would do. I think that would be really cool, actually, or would have been really cool. Wingnut 4427. Where's the first game that made your heart race with excitement, anxiety, or excitement because you were so close to beating it? For me, it was Castlevania on the NES. The first time I faced Dracula in his second form. I had to pause the game and walk away for about 30 minutes to calm myself before I continued. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Okay, not because I thought I was going to complete it. The first game that really got me really kind of anxious, stressed, Space Invaders. In the arcades, I don't recall games at home. What made me like that? I don't know. There were lots that got me pretty stressed. But I mean, the first time I ever experienced that, it was Space Invaders. And that really, really... And I think it was because I put money in the thing. I didn't want to die. I wanted to get my money's worth, or I'd just feel like I've been stupid by putting money into it and then only getting like 30 seconds of gameplay or something. So yeah, Space Invaders. In a little cafe in Stony Stratford whilst drinking a banana milkshake, usually. I mean, it's a simplistic game, but back then it was as good as it got. And the whole, when you've got like that, just that one last invader and he's going really quick and you keep firing and missing and he's getting lower. Yeah, that stress, absolutely. The only reason I don't get stressed by that now is I know I can have another go and it's not going to cost me anything. But when your pocket money is £1 a week and it's 10p a go, you know you don't get to play it for very long. So you want to last as long as you can. And when that little bastard's going so damn quick and you can't hit the little git, yeah, that's stressful. Matt Hopper. Do you enjoy podcasts, and if so, how? I listen to Retro Asylum, the amusing Swedish Manco podcast, which Mensky and other Brits contribute to, and All Gen Gamers. I listen while driving, drawing, painting, cooking, walking, etc. I think you could present your 4 Fridays as podcasts on iTunes or something. The format is perfect. Or would it divert focus from this channel? Just an idea. Alright, I'll start at the start. Do I enjoy podcasts? No, I don't listen to them. The only time I ever listen to a podcast is when I've been involved in one. And that's not very often, because a lot of podcasts are a group thing. And I don't like that. I get lost in it. It's not like I can't keep up. But if it's a group of people who already know themselves and I'm the outsider, I find myself very uncomfortable and thinking I could put my foot in it here, because I'm very good at putting my foot in it and saying the wrong thing. And I don't necessarily know who all of those people are or know enough about them to feel comfortable. You know, there's an amount of assumed knowledge when you've got these people who know each other well, and then I'm like, I don't maybe even know who some of them are. I don't like that. Yeah, I was on the All Gen Gamers podcast a few years ago, and that was cool, because I knew all of them, to some degree. You know, I was reasonably familiar. But it was very difficult as well, because it was 3 in the morning, and I was not awake, really. And I did struggle to keep up, because brain was sludge. So yeah, I kind of... Though I enjoyed it, I decided at that point, group podcasts, I don't really want to do that kind of thing again. But mostly I don't get involved, unless it's someone I'm familiar with, or... No, I've been on a couple actually where I'm not really familiar with them, but you know, it's just been kind of like an interview where they're asking me questions, and that's easy. I'll do that kind of thing quite happily. I guess I kind of look into it first and see who's doing it, because you will sometimes get people doing podcasts where they don't actually know what they're doing. You have a listen to what they're doing, and it's very not well put together, not well thought out. They're just going in and rambling, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. If you don't know what you're doing, I'm just going to sit here, and I don't want a part of that. I don't listen to them unless I'm on them. Because podcasts are quite long, and my time is taken up with an awful lot of things. Doing this, I've got other things I should be doing. This is a hobby. This is not my work, though it makes a little bit of money. There are other things I really ought to be doing, practical things around the house or out various places. So I just can't afford to take that much time to listen to a podcast. So no, I don't listen to them unless I happen to be on them. Doing the 4 Friday thing as a podcast, that, and when I did the Friday Talkie, people suggested it and I thought about it, and it's a tricky one, because it could take away views from the YouTube video, and I need all the views. I want people watching it because there are ads and money, and and I don't know, would the number of new viewers, listeners, make up for the lost ones here? I don't know. You know, I could find a whole new audience in podcasts, but if it detracts from what I'm doing here without bringing new viewers here, then I kind of don't want to do that. My place is on YouTube, and I don't mind doing promotional stuff off of YouTube, but I don't want that stuff to take away from what I do here. And it might, I don't know. So far I haven't risked finding out. I suppose at some point I might. Truth is, I don't actually know how to get stuff onto iTunes. You know, I could rip the audio from these videos and put it on there if I knew how, but I don't. At the moment I'm not interested enough to find out how to do it, and please don't hundreds of you PM me telling me how to do it, because at the moment I'm not interested in doing it. So yeah, thanks for that. That's all the questions, so that's all the answers. What is coming up? I think that what is coming up is a good thing to have at the end of these videos. I did it on the end of the Friday talkie, but it seems fitting to have them here because some people would like to know what's coming up. A couple of things actually. I'm going to do a video showing, because with that JXD tablet, quite a few people have asked, will it do this and will it do that and whatnot in terms of emulators. So I'm going to do a video where I show all the emulators that I've got working, because I've got quite a few, and there are a couple more that I'm working on that may or may not work satisfactorily. Yeah, I'm going to do that. There's going to be... I'm probably going to have some more Mega Drive gameplays. I've still got the Mega Drive out, so I will do some of them. And next Friday, I'm expecting something specific next Friday, which I can't be specific about now. It may be part of a For Friday Q&A, or it may be something standalone. We will see. I'm not quite sure how it's going to turn out yet. Yeah. But in the meantime, if you have questions you would like to ask, do feel free to ask, particularly in the comments of this video. People now largely aren't asking on Twitter and Facebook, or indeed in later videos that I put up during the week. So it's probably best to ask in the comments of this video. Do please put For Friday just before your question, because it makes it much easier for me to spot. Just asking a question, I might not notice it, or I might answer it in comments. But yeah, if you've got something you'd like me to answer here in video form, put For Friday before your question, and I will answer it next week, because that's how it works. And it's fun, and I like doing it, and it's, I say easy, it takes a hell of a lot of editing. That'll do, I think. Thank you for watching.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button. I upload videos daily, so go ahead and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more. To all those who've already subscribed, I'd just like to say a great big thank you.